everyone, it's Sam from Dots by Sam. I was just going to do a quick video for you all in regards to how I like to do my bookmark. So I was just going to do a quick one. Basically, I've gone to a much thicker card than I was using. This one's 1000 GSM, so it's quite heavy and quite inflexible. And I've just marked in and put a dot in them myself. These measure 5 centimeters by 15 centimeters in size. And now I've just gone ahead and put in my center dot there, just so I know where I'm starting from. And basically I've picked out some colors that I'm going to use. So I'm going to use some metallics. So we've got purple pearl, we've got berry, teal, and splendid gold are going to be the colors that I use. So what we might start with is, I might start with our teal color. So you can see that. Teal. Now I haven't got exact sizes for my tools to give you at the moment, but this one's probably my second largest dotting tool that I have. That's generally the one that I will use for my center dot. So I'm just going to pop that in the center there. And these metallic paints are really good in terms of, I love the way they dot up. They have that nice little roundness to them. So then I'm going to go in and just pop my dots around that. So the way I like to do it, and everybody has a different way of doing this, but I always do like on a clock face, so 12, 6, 3 and 9. So I just go in and pop them in, trying to sort of keep them as close as you can to that center dot. Then we have each of those sections. And then go in the middle of each of those. And just try and get these as even as possible, because the way I see it is your first row really sets the rest of your piece up, so it's all going to be in the right proportions. Okay, that was one of my children banging. Okay, so next I'm going to go in with, actually I might do the purple. So we've got purple pearl, and same tool. So I'll go in and then I'll just go into the alternate spots with the green or the teal dots that I've just done on there. I'll just go around, and like I said before, just trying to keep your dots really close together, or as close as you can without touching. Just makes for a nicer end product, I think. Now we'll go in with berry. And same size tool again. Now, I mean, this is all, just preference. So if you prefer, to do different size dots, that's completely up to you. I don't know, mine I seem to like to go around with these in the beginning. I just think it sort of starts the piece off nicely. Okay, so what I'll do now is I'll just move up in tool size. So I'll go back to the acrylic sticks that I use, and I think what I might do is go in with gold first. So this is only going to really have the 4 colours in this palette. For these ones, when you load your tool, I usually like to have it so, oops, where am I? Hang on. There I am. Have it so it's quite full on the end, because the idea really is that you're not pushing fully down onto the piece of card or canvas or wood or whatever you're dotting on, so you get that nice pooling effect in your dots. So I like to, especially when I'm using these acrylic sticks, I like to have a fair bit on there. Again, it's a personal preference though, as to whether you like to have a fairly heavy amount of paint on there. I hope the camera is getting it all, because this is actually the first time I'm doing this, so hopefully you're seeing it okay. So there we go. So that's our first round of dots. Then I basically just start the process over again. So now I'll go back with the teal, same size, and in between each of the gold. Go around. Hopefully the light's okay. It's coming a bit overcast outside, so I've only really got the light coming through the window there. I really like these metallics. I don't know what it is about these metallics, but I just like the way they pool as well. Okay, so now we'll go back around with the purple. So that's called, what was it? Purple Pearl. You can probably hear one of my kids in the next room, so just bear with me if you hear anything that sounds a bit weird. Yep, I think I'm one of my dogs now, because there's birds outside and I have 2 border collies, and one of them likes to think that he can chase the birds from one end of the house to the other. Okay, and then we'll just go around one final time with berry. Again, just in between those purple dots. I have to say I've really been loving doing these bookmarks, and I'm getting the photos taken over the next couple of days, and they will go into the shop on Wednesday. Anzac, it's my dog. They'll go into the shop on Wednesday, so as soon as they're in the shop I will update everybody if you would like to go on and have a look. Okay, so basically now what I'm going to do is I want to do like an outer section of dots on these. So this is how I do it. I'm sure everybody's probably got their own way of doing it, but I just have my little compass because I like to make sure that I've got like a perfect arc on either side. So I actually just pop it in the middle of the paint because I'm going to top dot this paint. So like I said, I'm sure everybody has a different way of doing this, so if you have a different way of doing it, that's fine. Okay, so now any divot that you see in here is one, it'll probably self pull away anyway, again, but I'm going to top dot it, so don't get too panicky over it if you are doing this. Okay, so now I'm going to go back with one of my smallest acrylic tools, and oh no, I don't want purple. Go back in with the teal, and you can probably just see a faint line that I've made with the pencil. So faint I can hardly see it. There we go. And I'm just going to go across with these. This design's a fairly quick one, because I really just wanted to pop on and show you how you can put something together quite quickly. And this one's pretty good for anybody who's, you know, starting out with dotting, because it's, you know, pretty plain in terms of, you know, I don't do a lot of walking the dots or anything on this particular one. I just like to keep this one pretty simple. Comes one of my children.
Flowers.
Okay, so you can see now we've got the start of that. You can actually see that middle one again, it's pooling over again, so if you do use the compass, it's not really going to hurt it that much. Now we want to go in with purple, so purple pearl, and again just alternating with each of those green dots, or teal. This purple pearl is really pretty. It's sort of got like a silver shimmer through it almost. Okay, go back over the other side here. The other good thing I like about these metallic paints is they dry pretty quickly, quick enough that I can put top dots on without having to wait too long to put them on. because I'm not overly patient when it comes to waiting. So I do have a fan on in here as well, so that kind of helps them dry a little bit as well. Okay, now we're going back in with the berry. In between those purple ones. That's our berry on that side. And last little one. Okay, and then we'll just finish off with gold, just to keep in with what we've used in the center here. I always like to just start the second dot in, just so I know where I've got to put that little half dot as well. I've actually decided too that I'm going to put together some little kits for anybody who's interested in them. At this stage I'm thinking they'll have a set of tools in them, they'll have a practice sheet for dotting if you're completely new to it, some instructions as to, you know, the best, well, not the best way, but my way of loading your paint onto your tools and using them. And then I'll make up different kits that might, you know, one kit might have a rock in it, or another kit might have, you know, a bookmark or two, or a little mini canvas, sort of like something like this size in it. So you've got options, or if you just need tools you can use those. So yeah, so they'll be coming and they'll be available on my Etsy shop too. I've got so many things going on in my head that I've just got to get it all done. Okay, so that's basically our first, oops, a lot of dots being done. So what I will do now is just go in with my top dots. So top dots on this one, I'm just going to do all gold. So it will be pretty uniformed. Now, like I said before, these paints tend to dry, or at least form like a skin over them quite quickly. So it's stable enough for me to put center dots or top dots on them. Now, however, using some of your satin acrylics and things like that, they can take a bit longer to dry, so you don't necessarily get to finish them as quickly as what you might like. But in saying that, it's not something that you really, well, it's not something I like to rush too much, because it is quite relaxing to be sitting here dotting. So I'm going to keep it relaxing for you. So yeah, just go around, pop in some gold top dots. Now, the other thing is too, I quite often will just do 2 layers of dots. I know a lot of people out there like to do, 3 and 4 layers of dots, and it really depends on what I'm doing. If I'm doing a bigger piece like a canvas or something like that, I will quite often do more layers of dots, but when I'm just doing something little like this, I will stick to 2 dots, so it doesn't get too overwhelming. Some of my rocks I will do with three layers of dots, but like I said, it just depends on the piece that I'm doing at the time. I hope everyone can hear me. I didn't check the volume on this, so hopefully it's coming through okay for everyone. Okay, so that's our first inner circle done with our dots. And then I'm gonna, because these dots on the outer edge are a slightly smaller dot, I'm gonna go back in with this camera, this smaller tool, and just pop in the center dots there. And when I'm doing these, I'm actually not touching the card either. I'm just touching, as soon as the paint touches, I lift it up. Because if you get too heavy, you're not really going to, one, get nice round dots, and the paint will tend to spread out too much as well. So it just gives you, if you've got the lighter touch, which mind you took me a long time in the beginning when I first started dotting, it took me a long time to realise the more gentle I was and the lighter I used my tools, the better off I was. So there's one end done. Okay. And just go in now and do the same thing down the other end. I usually can do 2 dots at a time before I reapply the paint on the end of my tool, because if you keep going, your dots are obviously going to get smaller each time you dot, because you've got less paint on the end of your tool. So I find with these little top dots, 2 is quite good. And once we've finished these, I usually like to finish off with just some sort of little, what will we call it? Some sort of little decoration on our outer dots, just to give it that finished look. So what I'm going to do is go in with like the really teeny end, and just do like 3 little dots in a triangle above each piece that I can. Oops, and I just put my finger in. Gotta be careful. I'll just fix that up a little bit. I'm forever putting fingers in when I'm doing tiny little work. Luckily, depending on the piece, it can be okay to go in and fix, but then other times not so much. It really depends on what you're doing. Okay, so let's see, we just got that end done. Go back in and do the other end. And again, on the edges, you could walk the dots if you wanted to right around the main dot. But I just like doing these little dots. Sort of gives it like a little, I don't know, lacy edge, I guess, for the lack of a better term. I like to make these things up. There we go. We'll go back in with that one. I tried to get too far. Okay, and now I'm just going to do the same thing around those center dots. Now obviously the ones, you know, closer to the edge you can't do, so what I like to do is probably just work out which ones I can get to first easily enough. I may just put on these ones, I might get that one, I'll get in, but this one's just a little bit closer to this edge. So again, you just work with, you know, what works for you. That's the good thing about dotting, in the way I think of it, is there's no right or wrong. It is completely up to you how you interpret things and want to do things. There's no set way, and that's the best thing about creating your own pieces. So there we go. So that, oops, tool stuck in my towel. That is your finished bookmark. And then basically you just need a tassel or something to put on the end. So I'm just looking, I've got some tassels over here. That one looks nice. So I've got one here that, oops. So I've just got these nylon tassels. I just order these online from craft shops. So I've got this one that's quite a berry sort of looking one. Now I will spray this once it's dried properly, but for the sake of the exercise, I'll just pop this in. And I just spray them. I'll show you the spray that I've used on my other ones. Oh. This isn't working out exactly how I wanted it to. There we go. So we just pop that through. There's your little tassel. That's your finished bookmark. So the spray that I use for them is just a matte sealer, and I just give them a light spray with that, and that just sets the paint. So I'll let the paint dry overnight, and then tomorrow I'll spray them with those. This is one that I've already sprayed. It doesn't sort of really change the look of them. Maybe it makes it a little bit darker. Oh yeah, you can see this one looks a little bit darker because it's sealed, so the black card is a little bit darker, and it actually makes the colours pop even more. So yeah, so it's just a nice finish. So as I said, I'll let that one dry for the night, and then I'll spray it tomorrow. Okay, well, hope you enjoyed that little video, and I'll talk to you all again soon. Thanks, bye.